In Luke 16, verses 1 through 9, Jesus shares the story of the shrewd, this dishonest manager. In this parable, we get some insight into kingdom living and what it means to use our resources for heaven's purposes. Now, this is a pretty difficult parable that can seem a little confusing. The beginning of Luke 16 is the start of a larger development that focuses on the need to be wise and generous. I think it's important for us to hear and keep that in mind. Be wise, be generous. The parable begins introducing us to two people, a rich man and his manager. Now, people were accusing the manager of wasting the rich man's resources. Think prodigal son type of lifestyle, basically reckless spending. The rich man, wanting to get to the bottom of the situation, asked the manager for an account of all the spending that he's done. Fair enough. The rich man wants to know where his money's going. The manager finds himself in a terrible situation, sure to lose his job. So he weighs out his options, and he can't do labor, and he doesn't want to beg. So he decides to win the favor of those that owe money to the rich man and live off their goodwill. He reduces the debts and presents an offer that no one could refuse. He wins the favor of the people, and much to his credit, the master praises him because he knew how to look after himself. So what is Jesus trying to say here? I want you to be smart in the same way, like the manager, but for what is right, using every adversity to stimulate you to creative survival, to concentrate your attention on the bare essentials, so you'll really live, and not just complacently just get by on good behavior. To be smart and in the same way, but for what is right, to be wise and generous with all that we've been given. As followers of Jesus, to use the resources that we have for kingdom purposes. I'm reminded of Jesus' Sermon on the Mount, where Jesus encourages his followers to lay up treasures in heaven. Same idea. Jesus wants his followers to be just, righteous managers with the same level of wit and passion, but without the shrewdness. If we understand the principle that everything we own is a gift from God, then we realize that God is the owner of everything and that we are the managers of his resources. As such, we are to use God's resources to further his kingdom, his plan. As followers of Jesus, we should be generous with all that we have and use it to help others. The resources of this world are temporary. One day, they will be gone, no longer available. Jesus is helping us understand that the money and other resources we have should be used for the good of heaven's purposes. I want to finish with this challenge. Jesus ends the parable by saying this in verse 13. No servant can serve two masters, for he will hate one and love the other, or he'll be devoted to one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and money. So who do you serve? God? Money? Let God be our master. Let's serve and live for him in all that we say and do.